Hey guys, it's Kelsey and back with another scrapbooking process video. Again, this is my mood board that inspired my kit. And for my first 12 by 12 back, I really wanted to scrap lift somebody to get me kind of back in the flow. So I found this layout from Sharon on Pinterest and I absolutely love it. It's using the same exact kit I had, and I really like the way she used the multicolored stripe. I really shy away from multicolored stuff just because I find it a little bit just too much for me. I like to focus on a couple colors, and I really like that she used it in these smaller strips because you get the impact of all of that color, but it's not overwhelming. So I really took a lot of inspiration from what she did, and I loved the different strips and the distressing. So I decided to pull out the same paper she did and start doing this whole strip thing. She had hers based on white cardstock, which I think looks better. But I have so much paper to use in this kit. I decided to pull in a yellow paper from my companion paper pad that I'm using with this Simple Stories kit, instead of doing white cardstock. Because white cardstock just, they're beautiful layouts. I just, for some reason, when I try to make them, I can't handle the blankness. So I decided to twist that a little bit. And then instead of just doing a distress strip on the edge, I'm doing my notebook edge punch. I loved using my notebook edge punch last month. So I wanted to continue it on this page. And I just think notebook edge punches go so well for travel. So that's what I decided to do. And then I'm distressing the edges of my papers as I get them all stuck down. I apologize for my voice. I'm getting over a stomach bug. I'm filming this shortly after Christmas, and Bennett's present to everybody was the stomach bug. So we were all out for the count a couple of days afterwards, and I'm still kind of recovering. But all that to say, I am going to piece all this together on a piece of black cardstock because even though I have plenty of paper, I can't just waste pattern paper by having it covered up. So I'm going to piece it all together on this kind of cheaper black paper so that I can salvage half of the yellow instead of using it as the entire background. But you can just see I'm using my Tim Holtz distress tool. I'm using my fingernail, and we're just kind of distressing and lifting that edge so that there's a lot of texture going on, which I love. This page is documenting. It's the first layout going into our Savannah trip that me and my mom, my sister, and her kids went on last year. It was the boys' first beach vacation, which was a lot of fun. Avery probably won't remember, but Bennett is of that age where he's going to remember, and he really got into it and got excited about doing all the things. So it was just a lot of fun, and I wanted to document the road trip. It's like 4 or 5 hours, which is a lot for the little ones. So Becca volunteered to drive. We decided to rent a bigger car, just so everyone would be comfortable. So Becca was the driver, and then I get motion sick, so I had to sit in the passenger seat. But I was in charge of music and navigation, and then Grandma was in the back with the boys, which they loved. And that way she could kind of entertain them, but also like pass out snacks and all that kind of stuff. It was actually really nice that we had this trip right before my cruise because I was able to test a couple of the motion sick products that I got. That was like one of my biggest things for the cruise. I was so worried I was going to be like seasick the whole time. So I had like 5 different products that I decided to test on this car ride. And I really love the motion sick patches, were great. And then I had I had like a natural ginger oral supplement, and I had like a meclizine supplement medication, which that's the heavy hitter, and I know would help, but it makes me so sleepy. I was really trying to avoid using that one at all cost. And then I also had the wristbands that are supposed to hit a pressure point on your wrist that help you not be nauseous, but those were really just irritating, and I don't know if they helped. But I'm glad I got all of that figured out before the cruise. So it worked out really well. I'm pretty much just building my base based off of Sharon's original layout. You can see I have hers pulled up on my phone there just to kind of figure out the layout. She had two smaller photos and I have one 4x6. I'm switching the title to use This Adventure Awaits. I just think that's such a good opening travel sentiment. And then she had a little mini floral cluster in the lower right hand corner, and I decided to switch it up. I really wanted, this is, our car ride to the beach and this road trip. And there's a lot of like travel-y things in this kit, so I wanted to make sure I got the car with the luggage on top on this layout because I feel like it was just perfect. So I just composed a little cluster down there. Sharon also used a lot of like the geotags and the photo corner arrows, and I love that she used the photo corners as arrows and not actual photo corners. So I'm also going to take a page out of her book and do that too because I love that idea. I'm trimming down this photo just a smidgen so it doesn't cover up so much room. Instead of matting it in another pattern paper, I'm going to mat it in a scrap of white just because I've already cut into 3 different papers for this first layout, which I keep trying to tell myself is fine because I have plenty, but like the hoarder in me, it finds that difficult. So I'm going to go with white, especially because I don't have this like white area that she had on hers with her white cardstock background. I think mine was missing that fresh white to break up some of this color. So I really like this white frame. I distressed that as well to add a little bit of texture. And then instead of having a second photo, I decided to go through my tags and I pulled out this one here that I think is perfect. It says the world is a book and those who do not travel only read one page. So I love that. So I'm going to kind of place that where she had her second photo. And this is basically where I get to where I stop looking at her layout and I'm like, okay, I need to figure out how to finish mine. And I get stuck a lot on this one. I just love Sharon's original so much, but she used so much embellishment. And even though I have a ton of paper for this kit, I don't want to pile all the embellishment on the first layout because I have a lot of paper. The embellishment has to stretch throughout. But one thing she did that I was obsessed with was this white splatter on the background. So I did decide to do that. I don't have any white opaque ink, but I just mixed a little bit of water in with my white acrylic paint and splattered it with a paintbrush. And I think that's so cool. I also like how that adds some more white to kind of tie in this white frame that I added. So yeah. And then just going through my embellishment really quick again. I really fight with myself because I just want to pile on the embellishment the way Sharon did because I just love hers again so much. But I decided to not go with the florals. I try to keep it simple. I do love this cluster I had down here at the bottom, so I'm going to go ahead and commit and get that down. I just have a little location, and then I have the chipboard piece laying on top of it that says we're on our way, which I think is kind of cool, and the car on top with the little geotag. Normally, I would hate that this car is driving off the page. I usually like my embellishment to all look in towards the page, but on this specific layout, I love that the car is going off the page because we're going off to our new adventure. This page is the opening page for our trip, so I kind of feel like you get to this page and you're gonna start the trip and the car. I don't know if that makes sense, but I love that the car's driving off the page. I feel like it's taking you on a journey through the next couple pages. Here's where I go back with the photo corners just to add a little bit of that motion and extra color. I love that too. And then I'm trying to remember to look at my sticker sheet. I'm kind of getting overwhelmed with all my cut aparts and die cuts and chipboard that I have to my left here. I need to not forget about the 12 by 12 sticker sheet that I also have for this collection. So I pulled in the little geotag with the car on it, but I end up not using it. I end up going something else instead. And this title shifts around a lot too. I keep putting it like under the photo, overlaying the entire photo, moving it back to where I originally had it. And it was just a process to kind of figure out what I like. I'm really, really happy to be back doing 12 by 12, but doing the little 8 by 8 mini album at the end of last year was such a nice break. It was just so easy to work in that smaller format because there's so much less you have to do and less that you have to worry about. That it kind of was a process getting back into trying to finish a full 12 by 12. So I took a little break and now I'm back, and I did want to make sure I use this. There's a little yellow not freckled fawn, Felicity Jane sticker that says Thursday, and I never use the day of the week stickers. Because even though I have like the date where things take place, I don't always know what day of the week that falls on. But I knew this was a Thursday, and so I just really wanted to go ahead and use the Thursday sticker, especially because it was yellow and it was in my color scheme. So I end up putting that up there with a little Happy Moments aqua arrow on the upper left-hand part of the corner. And then since I had that yellow sticker, that's why I decided to take off the geotag. But just shifting things around a little bit until I kind of figure out what I want to do. I'm just going keep going back and forth through the embellishment. Like I'm going to find something that magically changes my mind. But I like how I had it. So I'm pretty much going to put it back the way it was. And I try again with this geotag to find a place for it. I just felt like it was such a waste to not get the geotag car on the car page. But I have the car chipboard and I can always go back and add it. But I just felt like it was distracting and it was frustrating, so I just took it off for now. I did thread that tag with some green and white twine, which I think was nice. I added some word stickers from that sticker sheet underneath the title. That kind of leads down to where I'm going to do the journaling. I'm also copying Sharon in that fashion. I love where she did her journaling placement. So I just have so much to see, just cruise in and drive away, which I thought was also very appropriate. And now I'm going to glue down these little photo corner arrows and my little cluster in the lower right hand corner. But I had a lot of fun with this one. I love, if you watch my kit share, you guys already know, but I'm just obsessed with the colors in this kit. I love this collection so much. I wish I had this Simple Stories Here and There collection for the whole 3 months. Like I just wish I had a massive paper pad of it, but I'm going to have to supplement with my die cuts with a view paper pad because I'm definitely not going to have this kit last 3 months. I'll be lucky if it lasts one. So I love the colors in it so much. I'm really debating with myself. I want to buy more of it to use for my honeymoon cruise because I think it's such a good travel collection, and so much of this stuff I'm forcing myself to use for this trip because I just want to save it for my cruise, and I know I can't do that. But for my journaling, I'm just going to use my ruler and my grid mat to draw some straight lines because I cannot journal straight if my life depended on it. So I'm just doing some journaling. I decided to journal in my Not Quite Navy Stampin' Write pen just to pull some more navy into that yellow and tie back into that kind of text paper. And then I'm just explaining the road trip part of what I told you. So it says, road trip with the boys for the first beach vacation. Becca drove, mom was on grandkid duty, and I was in charge of music and navigation. Tybee Island and Savannah, Georgia, here we come. September 21st, 2023. And then I go back. I need some finishing touches, and I actually pulled in my tiny attacher to add some little silver staples in a couple of areas. Staples is another thing I just love to add on travel pages. I don't know, I just love it. And then I do want to do some Nouveau drops, and as much as I wanted to do white, which I think I might be out of white, honestly, after the mini album, I really wanted to try to use the, I think it's the Calming Aqua Nouveau drops, but I have a faulty bottle, and I forgot that that's why I haven't been using it, but instead of just getting a new bottle, I'm fighting with this one. So the material, even after you warm it up, which is usually my trick, the material is just way too thick and it's too stiff and it's not making those nice little Nouveau drop balls. And so this is what I was left with. But here are the close-ups. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.